And welcome back to Riverside Field. This is Bryce Ladwig and Post 12 Legion Baseball on KYNTV only again this morning on YouTube, Facebook, the Smart TV app, and, of course, on KYNT1450.com. I'm Bryce Ladwig alongside Braden Butler. Day 2 of the Kyle Mueller Classic. And we had great baseball yesterday afternoon at two different sites. Yankton here hosting a total of 5 teams. Crofton, Nebraska doing the same in honor of the late Kyle Mueller. Of course, played Yankton and in Crofton. And it's just a great time to remember him and pay tribute and have some great baseball over the weekend, as we do every season. And it was an eventful day yesterday, as I already kind of alluded to. We'll go over the results as a reminder to you. This is pool play. So each team plays 2 games each day, Friday, Saturday, a total of 4. The top 2 teams from each pool advance to Championship Sunday. They converge here at Riverside Field. You have a semifinals and then a championship game to determine the winner of the Kyle Mueller Classic. But again, we'll have all those results for you here shortly. This is the Hy-Vee pregame show. Hy-Vee, there's a helpful smile in every aisle. On the docket this morning, the first game of day 2, it'll be the 6-5 York Kings out of Nebraska taking on the 3-1 Yankton Post 12 Legion baseball team. And Yankton fell 4-1 to J.C. Brager last night, one of the hottest teams in the Yankton pool right now. York also fell to J.C. Brager last night, 9-6. And so both of them looking for a little bit of a bounce back here this afternoon. Braden, we saw some great baseball yesterday, and I think it's really important for Yankton, not only just because of standings and pool play, but they really just want to get that taste of that game last night out of their mouth.
It was a tough showing at the plate last night in the second game for Yankton. Only 3 hits as a team, 1 run come across. That was Rugby Riken who scored the run as he went 2 for 3 on the day. But hey, just try to get back into the swing of things here, literally and figuratively, at the plate, and try to get it going, get an early morning start. And the guys they're facing across the way, York, they're trying to stay alive in this classic. If they lose a third game here early on, it basically ends their classic for lack of for all intents and purposes, because Yankton would go to 2 wins, and the most York would get would be 1 win, so they would be eliminated from going to that championship round. So they are going to be hungry to get a win here early on. They don't want to be playing for nothing in the afternoon.
We'll take a quick break, come back here on the Hy-Vee pregame show. We'll go over your pool standings as well as out-of-town scoreboard. That's all around the corner here on KYNTV. And welcome back to Riverside Field and the Kyle Mueller Classic. Day 2 of the Classic here in Yankton. Let's jump into your standings review. And that is brought to you by Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance. Let Rhonda review your current home, auto, or life insurance to see if she can help you save some money. Also kind of fused together with our out-of-town scoreboard, because for a Classic, of pool play, it's kind of the same thing. And is brought to you by Upper Midwest Garage Doors, specializing in the sales, installation, and service of residential and commercial garage doors and openers throughout eastern and South Dakota. Upper Midwest Garage Door is your local authorized Clo-Pay dealer. Braden, bring us up to date on the Classic.
We'll start in the Yankton pool. We'll go through the results from yesterday. Yankton defeated Sioux Falls Post 15 in the opening round game, 7-4. That was followed by Vermilion taking a victory over Sioux Falls as well, 10-4. Vermilion then defeated York 8-7, and then J.C. Brager went back-to-back as they defeated York 9-6, and then Yankton to close out the day 4-1. That brings us to our standings in Yankton pool play. Sioux Falls Post 15 would need J.C. Brager and Vermilion to lose both their games today and then win both their games if they want to be in. Same with York, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they pan out from the bottom. They are both tied for fourth. Alone in third is Yankton at 1-1, and then tied at the top are Vermilion and J.C. Brager, who are both 2-0. Switching over to the Crofton side of things as we go to their schedule from yesterday, the opening game ended in a 7-3 victory for Hardington over Crofton. Norfolk then defeated Hardington 9-1. Elk Point Jefferson came into play and is the only undefeated team in pool play as they defeated Norfolk 8-4, and then Yankton's Junior Legion team 10-0. In the last game of the night, Crofton defeated Yankton's Junior Legion team 11-6, which brings us to our Crofton pool standings. We have Elk Point Jefferson alone at the top at 2-0. Crofton, Hardington, and Norfolk tied for second at 1-1 apiece, and Yankton's Junior Legion team in fifth at 0-2. It's been a fun weekend so far for the Mueller Classic. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. The Crofton pool, a little more wide open with all those teams kind of fighting for that second spot. Elk Point Jefferson, if they can get a win today, if we look at it, they won't play until this evening. They're in the last two games of the pool play over in Crofton today. Might as well just go through the schedule of games today as well. We'll stay in Crofton to start. Norfolk will be playing Crofton to open things today at 10 a.m. Then it'll be Norfolk against Yankton Junior Legion. The Yankees Junior Legion team will then play Hardington after that, followed by Elk Point Jefferson against Hardington. And in the final game of Saturday would be Crofton against Elk Point Jefferson. Looking at the Yankton pool, obviously the first game on our docket, Yankton versus York. York will then turn around and play Sioux Falls Post 15, who will after that play J.C. Brager. J.C. Brager will stay here for a game against Vermilion, and then it all comes full circle with Vermilion versus Yankton tonight, scheduled for 6:30. We'll see how good of a pace we stay on once we get there. And then we'll head to Championship Sunday. We'll see how the standings shake out. We'll have a much clearer picture, I think, when we come back this evening for that Yankton-Vermilion game to see exactly where everybody needs to finish if they want to go to Championship Sunday. I believe that's going to do it here for this segment on KYNTV Hy-Vee pregame show. It's your standings review and your out-of-town scoreboard as we'll go to break and come back here shortly. KYNTV Yankton Post-12 baseball around the corner.
And welcome back to Riverside Field, the Hy-Vee pregame show. Bryce Lodwick alongside Braden Butler. KYNTV only today, so I don't hear any audio commercials from the on the air of KYNT. Thank you for joining us on the Smart TV app, on our YouTube channel, Facebook, and, of course, KYNT1450.com. It's time for our vision of the game as the York Knights are taking on Yankton in Day 2 of the Kyle Mueller Classic. That vision of the game is brought to you by Vision Real Estate, where their focus is always on you. Braden, what do we have?
Your vision of the game today is going to be very similar to what it has been, and that's continuing to be aggressive, but it's in general just offense. The Bats struggled in Game 2, especially last night for Yankton. You can't bring them around to score if you don't get on the base paths, so just getting on those base paths by any means necessary, trying to work the Bats a little bit earlier. When you only get 3 hits as a team and you lose 4-1, obviously you can see something, you step forward going into Day 2 of the Classic, and that's getting those Bats going early on.
All right, and then our starting pitcher preview of the game that's brought to you by Missouri River Associates. Looking for insurance agents that have the knowledge to point you in the right direction? Contact Missouri River Associates in Yankton.
That's going to be Isaiah Skelhaus on the mound for Game 1 for Yankton. It's his first start in the Legion season. Last time we saw him in the spring season, he casually threw a 5-inning perfect game when Yankton defeated Rapid City Central in regionals of the spring season. So he's definitely coming off of a hot start back in that one. We'll see if he can carry it through to the spring season. If he can have a similar performance today, secure another win in the Kyle Mueller Classic.
All right, thank you. And our Vision Leader of the Season is brought to you by Vision Real Estate. Looking for the highest quality eye care with a personal touch? Call Vision Care Associates today to schedule eye evaluations for everyone, or visit visioncareassociates.net. Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first. Who is the Vision Leader at the plate? The big bat coming into the game.
It's going to be Rugby Reichen. Went 2 for 3 last night and scored the lone run in Game 2 against J.C. Brager. On the season, he's batting .455, which is a team high. He's an OPS of .988. 5 hits and 15 plate appearances. Has a couple walks and was hit by a pitch a couple times. Also has an RBI to show for it as well. So he's been very good at the plate so far this season, and they're early on, obviously, but he's going to be a key point to look at here in the Kyle Mueller Classic if they want to try to advance to Championship Sunday.
All right, we don't have a pregame coach interview today. We will have it tonight when we're on KYNT and KYN-TV, but that will be brought to you by 1919 Root Beer, the creamiest full-bodied draft root beer available. You can find it on tap Charlie's Pizza or in cans at Yankton Hy-Vee. And our colors of the game brought to you by Buell's Cleaners, offering dry cleaning, laundry, and business services like linens, rags, rugs, and uniforms. Buell's Cleaners, 444 3rd Street in Yankton. Your fans of the game brought to you by Triple Time Rudy's. No matter what you drive, make sure to fuel up at Triple Time Rudy's. 5 cents off each gallon of fuel on Saturdays. Just say you are a fan of KYNT or KYNTV. Special shout out to those at our KYNTV watch party location, Finney's Sports Bar and Casino. With more TVs and a new improved menu, bring your friends and family to Finney's for every game. And those colors I mentioned before are Yankton in their home whites. White tops, white bottoms, and white caps with the red backing. And the York Knights also in white today, but they're kind of, I'm going to call it royal blue and maybe a little darker. And, usually we don't comment that much. Oh, you have, and I have too. We like Sioux Falls Jefferson colors. I really like York's colors. I really do like these jerseys.
The white with the darker blue. Very clean jerseys, very simple as well. And
that's what I was looking for, clean, yeah.
Very simplistic, but at the same time, simple is better.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And your field conditions today are brought to you by CMB Equipment. Field conditions are brought to you by CMB Equipment. Navigate around your yard with John Deere lawnmowers from CMB Equipment in Yankton. Today's first pitch temperature is 65 degrees. 76 degrees. And the wind is coming from the southeast around 7 miles per hour, which means from left center again, just like last night, Braden.
Yeah, a few miles an hour off the top of that, so I believe it was about 10 to 15 last night, so it was gusting up to about 7 right now. I did the morning show on KYNT this morning, so I know the weather, or I know what it's supposed to be, so the winds will pick up a little bit, be about 15-mile-an-hour gusts once again.
Umpires of the game brought to you by the South Dakota Office of the Attorney General. They are the law on the diamond. And Brandon, I'm going to kick it over to you for the starting lineups brought to you by First Car Project Center, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Yankton's going to start in the field, and York is going to start at bat. So we'll go through the batting order for York to start. Batting first will be shortstop Noah Jones. Batting second will be center fielder Trey Reichert. Batting third will be designated hitter Garrett Bonnell. Batting fourth, the cleanup man, third baseman Trevor Vadishka. Batting fifth, first baseman Colin Kochwar. Batting sixth, the catcher Anthony White. Batting seventh, left fielder Cameron Logston. Batting eighth, right fielder Dakota Brown. And batting ninth, second baseman Carter Collada. Starting pitcher will be Talon Hager for York. Going around the diamond for Yankton in the outfield, Rugby Reichen in left, Cody Oswald in center, Luke Bernardo in right. Around the horn, Matthew Sheldon at third base, Drew Reichen at short, Mac Reichen at second, Josh Sheldon at first. Your battery, Isaiah Skelhaas on the mound, Jace McCorkle behind the plate. Be back in just a little bit here on KYNTV as we go off for the national anthem.
All right, time for first pitch here, day two of the Kyle Mueller Classic. Thanks for joining us here, KYNT and KYNTV. Isaiah Skelhaas on the mound for Yankton, and leading off for York, it is Noah Jones, and takes a strike on the outside, and it's 0-1 count. And a one-hopper just gets by Matthew Sheldon over at third base, just off his glove. That was a tough ball to try to nab, Braden.
Yeah, no, tough for him to start here. You know, early morning, that's a way to get you looking alive over there at third base. It was tough to get for Matthew Sheldon as he's trying to dial it in here as we go down the stretch. Good way to start, though, for Jones and York getting on base.
We'll also have updates of Yankton Gazelle softball, their 7th, 8th place game out in up in Aberdeen today. Showing a bunt now for York is Trey Rickert, and he sends it foul, so it's just an 0-1 count. But runner at first, top of the first, no one out. Second batter of the game for York. Thanks for joining us here on KYNTV, day 2 of the Kyle Mueller Classic. I think Yankton needs, I did this mathematically, Braden, they need a victory in one of their 2 games today, whether it be York or Vermilion, in order to move on. And I think that's literally just not an opinion. I think that's just how math works.
I believe that is, you know, as a recovering math major, that is how numbers work, Bryce. But if you're Yankton Post 12, you just want to win both your games. It'll put it out of the question if you win this 3-1 with your only loss coming to J.C. Brager.
Ball shot foul, still 0-2 count.
The interesting scenario in all this is if Yankton wins out, J.C. Brager falls to Vermilion today and then wins their other game, we'd have a 3-way tie at the top 2 spots at 3-1.
And the 0-2. And when I kick that segment over to you to tell us how that tiebreaker works, I'll just take a walk. You know, I'll just catch my breath, get some fresh air.
I feel like I'm studying for a test over here with my notes packet on how this tiebreaker works.
That's why I'm just going to be like, and Brayden, why don't you go ahead and tell us how this works? You're just going to hear the door to the press box shut and me sigh as I leave. And the 1-2, Skelhaus delivers, and it's a chopper back to Skelhaus, gloves it. He'll try to get the lead runner at second, and he does. Nice heads-up play by Isaiah Skelhaus on the mound, and wasted no time, went right to second. He knew he had time, and he got the lead runner.
Now, he's a taller guy, about 6'3", and he jumped from the mound, so he's obviously a few feet off of the low ground anyway. Able to get up there and get that one as it looked like it was going over his head. Made the quick decision to go to second as well. Great play all around by Isaiah Skelhaus.
That brings up Garrett Bonnell. Right-handed hitter, and he hits it up the middle, and is almost gloved by Drew Reichen. And an error will be almost certainly assessed, as Drew Reichen couldn't quite wrangle it up. It was on the, he had it in his glove, Bray, but it was in the exchange to his hand where it kind of fell out.
Trying to pick it out of his own glove. That happens if you're trying to move quickly, especially in those double play scenarios. But, you know, it's still early on in this game. Drew Reichen and this Yankton team just trying to look to settle in here. With 2 runners on, though, see how Skelhaus handles it on the mound.
And Skelhaus delivers to... Do we ever get an official confirmation on this name? Or a consensus up here?
I believe Vodishka is, but it could also be Vodka.
Trevor is at the plate.
I'm just hoping that we can get a little word in with maybe a York parent. We can talk to. I'll talk during the next break to the PA announcer as well to see how he is pronouncing it.
And a one hopper over to Matthew Sheldon over at third, and he actually bobbles it, but does step on the bag to get the runner. And there's been some fielding, you know, earlier morning game, Braden, and I think you're right. It's just kind of a Yankton just needs to wake up at the field a little bit, and they will. It's just kind of, we've had some fielding, one mishap, but some bobbles so far.
Yeah, it's just one of those things to wake up. We're feeling it up here in the booth. I've stuttered over a couple words already just trying to get this going.
And now it is Colin Kochwar. And Skelhaus misses on the outside, 2-0. Waiting for live stats to catch up for us. No, we are spoiled that we always wait for our live stats.
It is very nice to have.
And the 2-0. And a strike hits the upper part of the zone, brings it up to 2-1. Runner at first and second for York. And the 2-1. This one's lifted upwards and out of play. And foul ball is brought to you by Midwest Insurance Agency. You don't want the crack of the bat to end in the crack of your windshield and not have adequate insurance coverage. Let Midwest Insurance Agency find the right coverage for your vehicles. And the 2-2. Breaking ball misses low, brings the count full.
Trying to clip the lower part of the zone or maybe even get Kochwar to chase there, but he wasn't having any of it at the plate.
And a base hit out toward right field. And it is gloved and sent in, and there will be no play at the plate, and York takes a early 1-0 lead here at the top of inning number 1. Runners at the corners for York. So an RBI single for Kochwer, and that brings up Anthony White. And Skelhaus looking into McCorkle. And strike called, 0-1.
Interesting thing to note here so far in the top of the first inning. All 5 batters so far for York have reached base. 2 have reached by fielder's choice, so the lead runner gets thrown out and 1 off of an error. So it's interesting to see how that's worked out. With 2 outs already, every batter so far has been on base.
And a strike on the outside, and brings it out to 0-2. And ball misses low and away, brings it out to 1-2. Skelhaus looking in. Glances over at the runner at first and delivers. This one is lifted foul just above the net here at Bob Tereshinski Stadium. And they're still doing the $1 reward for foul balls, Braden. And I think that you and I we talked about yesterday, but maybe grab a mobile headset. One of us just hangs around.
I don't have the energy to get out of this seat, man.
And a pitch up high gets him chasing. That is a strikeout for Anthony White. Skelhaus sets him down. And so 1 run, 2 left on. And we will go to the bottom of inning number 1 here on KYNTV. York leading Yankton 1-0. Welcome back to the action here at Riverside Field. Mac Reichen right away to lead things off for Yankton. Pops it up into the infield, and it is gloved over at short for the first out for Yankton. pop out too short. And that brings up Rugby Riken, left fielder for Yankton today.
There's a high pop up there as well. Noah Jones was under it immediately, though, called off all of his teammates in the infield.
Striking the outside, 0-1. Yeah, we keep our own stats anyway, Braden, but I feel like we're going back to the dark ages right now. Live stats isn't coming up. Peek behind the curtain. Ball in the dirt, 1-1. I did get some coffee, India.
No.
Gotta wake Braden Butler up.
It'll stunt your growth. I'll just do an energy drink. It'll raise my blood pressure.
That's so much better. Such
Yeah,
a better alternative.
Gives me the shaky arms. It makes me more complete. As a
Grounder over to third, Rugby Riken, across the diamond. Is reaching first. He rounds first as the ball gets away from the first baseman, rolls to the bullpen. There's a lot to unpack here, and as Rugby Riken is standing on third. So, grounder, throw over. The umpire said that he was tagged, but during that tag, because the first baseman got pulled off the bag, he lost the ball, went to the fence. Rugby knew it, and then eventually all the way to a third. Braden, that was heads-up base running.
Yeah, very heads-up base running by Rugby, and that's what Yankton's really been when they've been on the base paths so far. This classic is being very aggressive. I thought Rugby would just stop it too, but as soon as he made that turn, realized the ball wasn't in a glove yet, he did not stop, and he headed for 3.
So I want to see how they assess this. Again, we don't have our live stats, so I'm trying to figure out. They haven't given an error yet or a hit, so I think everyone is kind of wondering. And actually, Braden, I know what's going on. Lucas Kamshoff, that's what's going on. He hits an RBI single out toward left that will score Rugby Riken. We're knotted up at 1 apiece. What I was saying was going on is, you know why they haven't assessed anything yet? Well, I guess they did now. Because they're wondering, they'd use live stats too.
They're wondering exactly how to assess it as well.
You know, as of right now, they're giving Rugby a base hit. And it's a strike to Matthew Sheldon at the plate. Nice breaking ball from the right arm of Hager. And a hard chopper out toward left. Matthew Sheldon with a base. Now, I highly doubt. We've been wrong already in this classic a couple times, Braden. There's no way they give an error on that. That was a hard hit ball.
The amount of times I've been wrong is shockingly more than the amount of times I've been right. But I'm not going to lie to you.
That brings up Drew Riken. Ball misses low and away. So go ahead run on second. The 2 runners on first and second, and Hager gets ready to deliver. Ball misses high and inside. And it's got 2-0. And pitch misses high. It's a 3-0 count now to Drew Riken.
See if Riken's taking all the way here, and if Hager lays one in there, if Riken will take a shot at it.
Struck on the inside. He's got 3-1. Ball low in the dirt. Drew Riken takes his bag. So the Yankton has the bases loaded here for Cody Oswald. Grand slam right here, Brendan. I'm going to speak it into existence.
If there's a guy on the team who can do it, it's either him or I guess the guy who's on third base right now, but he can't exactly hit from third.
That'd be a neat trick. First pitch to the left-hander, Cody Oswald. 1-0 to Oswald. Check swing. I say he went around. Just kind of sits at 1-1.
I want to say, obviously, for those who can't make out on KYNTV quite who is at third base, that's Lucas Kampshoff over there that we're talking about.
And the 1-1 breaking ball hangs up high. It's a 2-1 count to the speedster and the power speedster, Cody Oswald.
At what point do they just call the kid a five-tool player? 'Cause he can field, he can throw, he can run, he can hit.
Yeah, the missile out in center field yesterday. And there you go. As a hit out toward right, it will act as a sac fly RBI. As Kampshoff comes in to score, Yankton takes a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of inning number 1. A sacrifice fly from Cody Oswald. And gets the job done. They'll bring up Jason McCorkle. Gave us all a scare yesterday with him not catching in game 1 of the Classic, but he was out signing a full-ride scholarship, and we keep saying we're going to track down those details, but I keep forgetting. But congratulations to McCorkle on that. So he's at the plate now. Takes a breaking ball for a ball 1-0. The only thing I ever get assigned, Braden, is checks.
You're funny.
And striking the outside, 1-1. How many checks have you written?
I've never. Oh, I guess I have. My grandmother taught me how because she always used her checkbook and she'd have me write checks for her. I don't know if that's illegal, so I recant that if it is.
So earlier yesterday we had an IRS issue with.
That was Wednesday,
Or
dude.
whatever. All the days are starting.
The
to
baseball
blend.
has run together.
The 1-1 now to McCorkle. Pitch goes on 1-2. I swear I was in the very tail end, and I mean the tail end of like one of those kids as a teenager that had a checkbook, had a balance amount checkbook. I don't know. That was pretty nice. I mean, it was awful to write checks every time, but it is what it is.
Now I just have a piece of plastic and a phone app that tells me how much money I have.
McCorkle swings through an off-speed pitch, is set down on strikes. There is 2 runners left on, but 2 runs come across on 3 hits, and that'll do it for Yankton. We enter the top of inning number 2, but I want to thank a few of our sportscaster partners. Without them, this broadcast is not possible. Thank you for joining us on KYNTV. If you enjoy the product and may want to become involved, KYNTV is always looking for part-time paid help behind the scenes. No experience necessary, flexible scheduling, and the opportunity to watch games from a whole new perspective. Email me at Bryce@riverfrontradios.com. That's Bryce with a Y at riverfrontradios.com to learn more about any opportunities. No matter your age, gender, or sports knowledge, I'd love to talk to you about joining Yankton's home stream, KYNTV. Thanks to Buell's Cleaners for rugs, uniforms, linens, and other cleaning services. Go to Buell's in downtown Yankton, the Fox Stop. For all your daily convenience and fuel needs, make a stop at the Fox Stop. And Yankton Computer Network Services. For your complete personal and business computer solutions, rely on Yankton Computer Network Services. Wishing the best of luck to the Yankton Post-12 Legion baseball team this season. We'll take a break here on KYNTV. And welcome back to KYNTV. Isaiah Skelhaus takes back the mound. Yankton leads 2-1, and that brings up Cameron Logston. And now another pitch. Therefore, Skelhaus. This is low and away. I mean, it's got 2-0. Pitch goes high, and ball 3. So Logston able to work ahead here in this count. And a walk is issued to Logston. And that brings up Dakota Brown. Right fielder for York. Well, so far, yeah. See, I'm a Jersey guy. All right, not from New Jersey. I'm talking. I like uniforms. I like jerseys.
I knew a Jersey guy once.
Yeah, we're not going to go down. So I will say that in this entire classic, from what I've seen, these are my 2 favorite jerseys on the field right now. Yankton's home whites, and we already mentioned that we like the York jerseys as well.
Just very, I don't want to keep using the same word, but they are just a couple of very clean jersey styles. Very simple. The only real piping or anything is around the end of the sleeves and the neckline. It's just very, very good jerseys all around.
And showing bunt was Dakota Brown, and he fouls it in front of Jason McCorkle, 0-2 count. So runner goes back to first as he was taken off. And the 0-2 delivered. Skelhaus sends it high. 1-2 count.
He was trying to go for a bender there that didn't cut into the zone.
And the 1-2. That was lifted out toward right, and gloving it is Luke Bernardo for the out. Nice job tracking that one down in the sun. So F9 in your scorebook. We're no longer in the dark ages. We do have our live stats. I appreciate everyone that made that happen. Based on my earlier comments, you would think the world was ending.
The amount of times a minor inconvenience has caused the world to end to you is alarming. I do worry about you sometimes.
Strike called of I-01. It's called passion, Braden.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just like you drop a pencil in the office and the whole day's ruined.
And come back and gets by Skelhaus's glove. Charging is Mac Reichen. Throws over and gets him out. What a nice charge by Mac Reichen, recovering. It got over the glove of Skelhaus. Kind of took an awkward hop on the turf, Braden, but Mac Reichen, a nice job just bulldozing it forward.
Now it looked like it hit the front end of the pitcher's mound, and obviously that little angle can cause it to shoot off to the side, and it just got over Skelhaus's glove. As you mentioned, though, great play by Mac Reichen. Good charge, way to glove it, and way to get it over to first for the out.
Runner in scoring position for York with 2 away. Top of inning number 2 brings up Noah Jones. He singled in his first at-bat. Pitch misses high. 1-0. And the 1-0. And swinging hard through that one. Makes it count 1-1. We had a question before we had the stats rating about was it Kochner? Wait a second. Never mind. And the 1-1 sent out to right field, and Bernardo will charge, will throw home, and there will not be a play as ball veered off to the left. I don't think it would have been in time anyway. We're knotted up at 2 apiece here in the top of inning number 2. So Noah Jones, an RBI single.
He started the day 2 for 2 with an RBI, so hot start for Jones. Let's see if he can keep it rolling for York.
That's Trey Richard. And a ball in the inside, 1-0. I started telling you something, and I realized I had just misread something, so I want to clear that up. It happens. My day's not ruined, though, Braden.
And now you say that.
You say it's not ruined, but we'll find out. Swing through an off-speed pitch on the outside, 1-1 count. And chopper up the middle. Mac Reichen charges and off to his right. Another nice play by Mac Reichen, but even a better scoop over at first from Josh Sheldon. It's a 4-3 put out, ending the threat here in the top of inning number 2. So there is 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 runner left on, as the Yankton bats will now come up in the bottom of inning number 2. We're knotted up at 2 on KYNTV. Back at Riverside Field-Yankton at the bat, it's Luke Bernardo.
Bernardo had a good play out in right field in the last half inning as he was able to secure one of the outs.
And Hager delivers the ball on the inside. Excuse me, strike on the inside, 1-1. Hager now working from the stretch and delivers. Foul tipped. I mean, he's got to 1-2. How many more drinks do you think I can collect up here, Braden? So far, we're up to...
You have 2 bottles of water and a mellow yellow. I have hopes and dreams. I might need a water at some point, too.
And the 1-2. And Luke Bernardo caught look. It was a nice breaking ball, though, from the right arm of Hager. Now set down Bernardo on strikes. Brings up Josh Sheldon, who had a really nice pick over at first base defensively in the last half inning.
Josh Sheldon just had a good classic so far in general. Went 2 for 3 in game 1. Has pitched a couple solid innings in relief as well. And just made a couple plays out in the field, obviously, with the scoops at first and played a little bit of second base as well.
And a nice hit over toward third, but it is nabbed by Vodka, and he moves off to his right. And that is nice, nice defensive play over there at third for York, and that's 2 away. So I'm going to put that as an L5.
And a great play by Vodicka at third, laying out for that one.
Brings to the top of the order, Mac Reichen. Popped out to shortstop in his first at-bat. Foul tips this one, 0-1. You know, the sample size of an entire Legion season versus, you know, a Major League Baseball season is quite different, right? But, you know, they always call it the June swoon. You know, it's kind of like the July. You know, the team has a downtime, or a player does. And Mac's kind of going through that right now in the Kyle Mueller Classic. He's had some bad luck right there. I mean, he just hustles down the first base line on a chopper and gets beat by a throw by about half a step. But we've seen his bat, what it can do, and expecting that to start upticking here shortly. But that is a 5-3 putout, and that will end the Yankton at bat. No hits, no runs, and no one left on. I want to thank a few of our sportscaster partners And amongst them, Pizza Ranch for legendary chicken and the best pizza. It's Yankton Pizza Ranch. It's on Broadway, or you can call 665-1222. State Farm Roy Wilcox. Roy Wilcox State Farm has been helping customers get to a better state for over 100 years. No matter where you are in life, they'll help you make the right play calls for your insurance coverage. That's Roy Wilcox State Farm, proud supporter of Yankton Post 12 Legion Baseball. And Sureco, a proud supporter of Yankton Sports. When you need to be sure, make it Sureco. We'll take a 1-minute break, come back, and continue here on KYNTV. Welcome back to Riverside Field. It's Bryce Loudon alongside Braden Butler. Top of inning number 3. We're knotted up at 2. And with your play-by-play, I'm going to hand it over to Braden Butler.
Yeah, coming back from the fastest minute of my life. It's a 1-0 count for Isaiah Skelhaas. That is one of the perks to being on stream early, is that one's left out, or stream only, is that one's left off the plate for ball 2. Is you make a call, you realize you misjudged the time a little bit, you can just come right back. You don't got to wait for the ads to play through. 2-0 pitch is driven out to right field. It's going to find its way to Luke Bernardo. That's a base hit. Solid single to start for Garrett Bunnell, and it brings up Trevor Vadichka. Vadichka reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat. It's the first hit of the game right there for Bunnell as well. He did reach base in the first inning on an error. Vadichka coming off a couple key plays at third base in the last half inning. He's going to ground to the third baseman. Sheldon tips off of his chest to try to get the lead runner at second, but they can't get the throw in time. Took a high bounce on Sheldon that he wasn't expecting. Came up off his chest, trying to get the lead runner at second. He can't get there. So runners at first and second now for York.
Second error of the game assessed to Yankton, and that's 2 official errors. We also had some bobbles by some players as well. And just not the sharpest fielding game for Yankton so far this season. Luckily, it's still the third inning.
First pitch of this at-bat is a ball from Skelhaas. It's Colin Kochwar at the plate. He's responsible for the lone run of this game with an RBI single. That one a ball as well from Skelhaas. 2-0 count now. Skelhaas working over stretch, checks the runner at second, now comes home. He finds the strike zone there. 2-1 count now. Skelhaas with a 2-1 pitch to Kochwar, finds the zone again. It's a 2-2 count now. Two pitches left high from Skelhaas for ball 3. Count goes full now. Runners on first and second for York. It's Vadichka at first, Bonnell at second. On deck for York is Anthony White. In the hole is Cameron Logston. Big shot here out to right field. Bernardo tracking it, trying to get underneath of it. Off the glove of Luke Bernardo in right field. It's going to be an error assessed to Bernardo. He gets it in quickly, though, so it's going to hold the runner at third. No runs score on the mishap, but the bases are now loaded with nobody out for Yankton, for York. Anthony White stepping up to the plate, struck out in his first at-bat.
Number 5, catcher Anthony White.
After Anthony White is Cameron Logston on deck, Dakota Brown in the hole. This one foul tipped back in the netting here. It's an 0-1 count here to White. Skelhaus working back out of his windup now. Leaves that one off the plate for ball 1. One pitch, swung on and missed by White. Makes the count 1-2. Shakes his head after that one. He thought he had a good one. Now, there's an old saying, there's nothing harder in sports than to hit a round ball with a round bat. 1-2 pitch. This one is hit, driven down left field line, but it's out of play. Foul near the bullpens. Count will remain 1-2. Bases still loaded here for York. Bonnell on third, Vidishka on second, Kochwar on first. That one's a ball from Skelhaus, makes the count 2-2. Counts 2-2, score sheet is 2-2 as well. York has scored in each of the first 2 innings. Skelhaus with the windup, bounces in front of the plate for ball 3. Count goes full here. We'll see how aggressive Logston is at the plate. You got to assume Skelhaus is going to challenge. Excuse me, Anthony White. Logston's on deck. Skelhaus tried to clip the outside corner, but left it too far off the plate for ball 4. That'll walk home a run.
Number 30, left fielder Cameron Logston.
And we have a mound visit from Coach Drew Lawrence. Mound visit is brought to you by Hedro, one of Yankton's biggest and best employers. When you're ready for a break, maybe looking for a new direction, visit jobs.hedro.com. We'll take a break, and right now your score, York 3, Yankton 2, and York continuing to threat. We'll be back here from Riverside Field.
Welcome back in here on KYNTV. Isaiah Skelhaus still on the mound here. It's a bases loaded situation. York leading 3-2. Gets a strike there called on the inside part of the plate. Well, they put a ball on the board, but it looked like the umpire called strike. My apologies if it wasn't. The pitch from Skelhaus. This one foul tip back into the netting. I believe the count should be 1-2, judging by the York's coach's instructions as well, saying he's got 2 on him. That one low and away for a ball. There's the official signal from the umpire, 2-2 count. They're going to reset the scoreboard out in the outfield. Skelhaus going through his windup as he sends it home. Big swing there from Logston, but he can't get a piece of it. He strikes out here. Good pitch from Skelhaus to get the punch out. It's the first one down in the inning and brings up Dakota Brown. Brown flew out to right field in his first at-bat. That came in the second inning. First pitch swinging from Brown. He can't find a piece of it, though. Count goes 0-1. Still 3 runners on for York. Vidishka's at third, Kochwar's at second, Anthony White on first. This one's popped up down the first base line and out of play. That one leaves the stadium there as well.
Foul ball is brought to you by Midwest Insurance Agency. You don't want the crack of the bat to end in the crack of your windshield. Not have adequate insurance coverage. At Midwest Insurance, find the right coverage for your vehicles.
Big strike there from Skelhaus as he gets the punch out. Back-to-back punch outs with the bases loaded, trying to work out of this jam.
A high-pressure situation. Nice job by Skelhaus and continuing to pound the zone there. It's one thing Skelhaus is really, one of many, but one really good thing is just throwing strikes.
First pitch off the plate for ball one from Skelhaus. He's hung back-to-back Ks as the man on the mound. He gets a big swing there. Carter Culotta's at the plate, grounded out to end in the second inning. Did not end the second inning. 1-1 count. Skelhaus working out of his windup. This one driven down the third base line, gets just past the glove of Matthew Sheldon. One run's going to score as Rugby Riken picks it up in left field. He's firing home to the plate. Not going to get there in time. Good throw, good tag attempt by McCorkle, but 2 runs are going to come across. It's a 2 RBI double for Carter Culotta, and that brings up the top of the order with Noah Jones.
Brings the leadoff hitter number 4, shortstop Noah Jones.
Good throw by Rugby. Just, I don't think that ball was ever going to get anywhere just in time, but an accurate throw at the very least, and just again showing off his arm.
Yankton has some very good arms in the outfield. Just hard to beat speed on the base paths like that. And Koshwar was the last one to come across the plate. He got a good jump from second, so they're playing time. That ball gets away from McCorkle for a moment, but he's able to scramble for it. No runners advance. Noah Jones has 2 for 2 in this game with an RBI. Big lead for Culotta as he was about halfway to third base there. Ball missed off the plate for ball 2. 2-0 count now to Jones. Another big lead for Culotta. Gets away from McCorkle for a second. Another good scramble, though. Keeps the runner at third. And it looks like on the confusion there, Skelhaus wasn't close enough to the mound when the ball got back to him, so it was still considered a live ball. Heads up play by the runner on third base to come across and score. That was a pinch runner in place of Anthony White, as I try to pull up to see who they subbed in with there on that pinch run. Good heads up base running, puts another run on the board. It's a 4-run top of the third inning right now for York.
The runner was Stark.
First strike of the at-bat. Makes it a 3-1 count. Ball got away from McCorkle. He threw down to third to try to stop the steal, but runner got there in time. That's Culotta. So now there's a runner on third. There's ball 4. Jones will take his base. He's been on the base paths every at-bat so far. 2 singles and now a walk to his ledger.
Number 3, center fielder Trey Richard.
We'll say Stark, who came across the plate earlier. That's Isaac Stark, just to give a shout out to him, give him his credit, and the heads up base running. First pitch of the at-bat from Skelhaus is high and away, ball 1. It's a 1-0 count here with 2 down as Skelhaus comes set, working back out of the stretch with runners on first and third. Runners stealing second. Jace McCorkle with a throw down. It's caught by Drew Riken. Doesn't try to throw a tag down, just keeping the runner at third. Two-0 count now with 2 down, 2 runners on. Culotta taking his lead at third. Jones on second. Drive into this one from Rickert. Right center field, Cody Oswald tracking it, and he gets a glove on it, and that ends the inning, but not before 4 runs come across the board for York. 4 runs on 2 hits and 2 runners left on base for York as we go to the bottom half of inning number 3. Yankton trails by 4 as they try to get some of those runs back. Welcome back in here on KYNTV. Rugby Riken to lead off inning number 3 here for Yankton. Reached the base paths on a wild throw, and later scored on an RBI by Lucas Camshaw. First pitch to him is in there for strike 1. Do have an update on the Yankton Gazelles game. They're up 2-0 on O'Gorman as the 7th place game in the Class AA state tournament. It's the bottom of the 3rd inning over in Aberdeen. Bottom of the 3rd here as well. That pitch high and inside, ball 1. The 1-1 pitch here from Hager. That one off the plate and away, ball 2. Two-one pitch. Inside, clips Riken. He's going to take his base. It's the 5th game of the season for Yankton. If the numbers are correct, that is the 3rd time already that Rugby Riken's been hit by a pitch. You get that, though. Riken plays a little closer to the plate when he's in the batter's box. If pitchers try to work inside, they run that risk of hitting him and giving him a free base. Brings up Lucas Camshaw. Riken on the move. Ball gets away from the catcher. He's going to stand up as he gets into second with a stolen base. I'm not even going to ask what that chirping is, but I digress. Hager comes home. Catches the inside part of the plate for strike 1.
Just noises happening. You and I do both. We both do enjoy the chirping of dugouts.
As long as it's, as long as it's okay, everything's respectful. For the most part. Whatever that is unsettling as it might have been. It was all PG. So. It's a 2-1 count now after that one misses inside to Camshaw. Riken taking a decent lead at second, steps back for a moment, and he sees the second baseman come over. Throw low and away, throw down to second. Riken was already halfway to third. Ball gets away from the second baseman. Rugby Riken's going to come home on a wild play. It's going to be ruled a throwing error against Anthony White. White went to second because it looked like Riken was trying to dart back. Call that a little bit of a juke move as Riken goes to third. The ball gets away from the second baseman. From the shortstop, covering second base. Rugby Riken's going to come around to score. That's now 3 on the board for Yankton. 6-3 is the score line. They still trail.
Another heads-up base running play from Rugby Riken, and that's why you want him to be aggressive. Yes, yesterday he also got thrown out extending to third on a play, but more often than not, when he's aggressive like that, it will turn out in your favor.
That one finds the zone for a strike. Good bounce-back pitch for Hager. Makes the count full. payoff pitch. Kamshoff gets a piece of it, drives it down out of play in front of the York dugout. Hager coming, set on the mound, gets the call he likes from his catcher, White. Kamshoff drives it down the third base line again, and this one bounces off of the, looks like the gut of Vadichka at third. Kamshoff's going to reach on the fielding error. Nobody out here in this inning. Rugby Ryken's already come around to score on a hit by pitch and then a wild throw. Kamshoff now at first after the error. And that brings up Matthew Sheldon, who singled in his first at-bat. Kamshoff going. Wild pitch gets away from the catcher. Kamshoff's going to stand up at second.
Yankton kind of stirring the pot a little bit here. They're just very notorious for aggressive base running. They're showing that right here. Trying to get every team unsettled and make them make mistakes.
The mental aspect of the game is an underrated part of it, but especially when you're trying to get in the head of the opposing pitcher, which Yankton seems to be their MO right now against York, because that one was a good pitch, just high, got away from the catcher, and Kamshoff's going to advance to third on the wild pitch.
Now we're here in the Yankton dugout chirp.
With nobody out, it's a 2-0 count, runner on third. Tying run technically on deck. If Matthew Sheldon could get on base, and it's a 3-0 count now. We'll see if he's taken all the way.
And I will bet a Josh Bolter dollar, which is my new favorite thing to do, by the way, that I know one of the players that's stirring that up over there. I bet their first name rhymes with Trooper.
He is a trooper. That one, ball four. Matthew Sheldon will take first base. And that's something even Drew Lawrence talked about in the post-game for Game 1 of the Kyle Mueller Classic. Obviously, Cooper Grotenhuis, a good guy to have on the team. He's no one's going to have your back like Cooper Grotenhuis. Just from listening to coaches and teammates alike talk about him. He's also a very good defender at first base, and he's got pop in the bat. Hasn't shown it yet, but that's just getting up to speed, I think, because both him and Cody Oswald didn't play in the spring season. They've taken that second to kind of ramp up at the plate as we're getting underway in the summer season. We do have a mound visit, which are brought to you by Hedro. Hedro is one of Yankton's biggest and best employers. If you're looking for a break, want to go in a new career direction, visit jobs.hedro.com. Don't believe there's going to be a pitching change on the mound here. Just trying to settle back in for Hager, and there's not as they break that huddle on the mound. Just trying to get Hager to settle back into the game. He had a very good second inning, got into a little trouble in the first, but was able to battle out of it. And now here with runners on the corners in a 3-run ball game, that brings up Drew Ryken. Ryken walked in his first at-bat, so his ledger says 0 for 0 on the day. First pitch is on the outside part of the plate. Matthew Sheldon, no throw down, so he's going to stand up, getting into second on a stolen base. Two runners in scoring position for Ryken. Drew represents the tying run at the plate. Cody Oswald on deck. Jace McCorkle in the hole. Ryken takes that one on the inside part of the plate. Ball 2. Gets away from the catcher for a moment, but he's able to scoop it. Two-0 count. Just got a notification that my rent payment's been accepted, so I have a place to live for another month. Happy about that. That one low and away, ball 3. Ball got away from the catcher for a moment, but Kamshoff doesn't try scrambling from third.
Does your rent ever not get accepted? No, we don't want your money.
Oh, well.
We don't feel comfortable taking your money, Braden.
It's more the fact that I had rent money that I'm happy with. And my card didn't get declined.
You keep it. You keep it this month.
I wish. I wish. That one, first strike of the at-bat to Drew Ryken. He was taken all the way, which I'm an advocate for in a 3-0 count. Unless that thing is a middle meatball, there's no reason to really take the bat off your shoulder.
Middle meatball. Love it.
That one's off the plate. Ball 4. Drew Ryken will take first base, and that loads the bases for Cody Oswald. I've seen this one before. Cody Oswald came up in the first inning with the bases loaded, had a sac fly to right field that brought home a run.
I did say he was going to hit a grand slam, then he did hit an RBI, so I'll go ahead and say it again. He's going to hit a grand slam.
First pitch to Oswald. He puts a pop into this one. Popped up in foul territory down the first base line. I don't know, that's going to get out of play over the... Judging from the horn that suddenly just started, I believe it hit a car.
And foul ball is brought to you by Midwest Insurance Agency. You don't want the crack of the bat to end in the crack of your windshield and not have adequate insurance coverage. Let Midwest Insurance find the right coverage for your vehicles.
Hopefully whatever car that potentially hit, whether it's a matter of coincidence or something else, hopefully they got decent insurance. That one catches the outside part of the zone. That's strike number 2. It's an 0-2 count now to Oswald. Nobody out here in the bottom of inning number 3. 1 run has already come across the plate for Yankton. They trail 6-3 in this one. Oswald puts a drive into this one. No, got a little too far under it. That one's down the right field line and out of play.
I'll tell you what. If Cody Oswald hits a grand slam, I will live on KYNTV challenge him to a race. I need to start at third, and he can start at home plate.
It's an 0-2 pitch from Hager to Oswald. This one he gets a hold of down the right field line. That's going to get over the right fielder's head on the warning track. So 1 run for sure is going to come across. The right fielder scoops it on the track in front of the fence. 2 runs come across. Oswald has to hustle back to second because they hold Drew Reichen at third. But a 2 RBI double, and suddenly it's a 1-run game. Cody Oswald making the play happen, putting that one over the right fielder's head. 2 RBIs and a double.
Brian, I got really nervous.
You thought it was. I thought it was for a little bit too.
Burn the tapes of what I said.
There's no proof. It's not like this is live or anything. That brings up Jace McCorkle. 2 runners on in scoring position. Drew Reichen at third, Cody Oswald at second. McCorkle loaded up for that, but ended up taking it inside ball 1. One 0 pitch to McCorkle. He makes contact on this one, sent out to center field. Little flare caught by the center fielder. Should score Reichen from third. Cody Oswald also taking second on the sac fly. Sac fly RBI for Jace McCorkle as another run comes across, and just like that, we're all tied back up here in Yankton.
Oswald third. Now batting right fielder number 17, Luke Bernardo.
That brings up Luke Bernardo. 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out in his last at-bat. Has a chance to give Yankton the lead here. Only 1 down. That one high, ball 1. Ball 2, excuse me. There was already a ball on him. Swing there from Bernardo. Can't get a piece of it, though, for a strike. Catcher fakes the throw down to third. Oswald playing a little mind games. Oswald, one of the fastest runners in the state. Finished third in the 110-meter hurdles in Class AA. And that one's going to bring him home as Luke Bernardo gets a grounder between the shortstop and the third baseman. RBI single for Bernardo, and just like that, Yankton goes from down 4 to leading by 1 in the span of half an inning. There's still only 1 out against Yankton here. Runner on first is Bernardo. He just hit that RBI single. That brings up Josh Sheldon. Top of the order's on deck. Ball low and away. Breaks the count 1-0. Hager coming set on the mound. Check the runner at first. Now low and away again. Ball 2. Sheldon not swinging out of the zone at these. He's staying patient in the box. It's a 2-0 count with 1 down. We're in the bottom of inning number 3. Yankton leads 7-6. 5 Yankton post 12 runs come across the plate. This one driven out to left center field by Josh Sheldon. Tracking it is the center fielder for York. He's going to get underneath of it for out number 2. Good initial jump there. Good pop off the bat by Josh Sheldon, but good jump by Reichert out in center as he secures that one for York. 2 down now. 1-run lead for Yankton. Brings up the top of the order, Mac Reichen. If Mac Reichen's able to get on base, they will have batted around, will Yankton? Reichen sends that one hard down the right field line, but too much push on it as it ends up near the parking lot here. Now to play again.
See, I want to park in that driveway that entered to the gate, right? But it's those foul balls that make me nervous, Brighton.
I think it's safe that we park where we park.
Well, yeah, like a mile away. It's great. Get the steps in.
Get the steps in. Gotta get the steps in. That one, ball off the plate, so it's a 1-1 count now.
Especially since I almost had to race Cody Oswald.
Still could. You never know if he gets back up in another bases loaded situation.
And that is a grand slam. The odds.
The odds of getting into 3 bases loaded situations at the plate are already low.
And then hitting a grand slam.
It's a 2-1 count as that one misses low and away, ball 2. 2-1 count, 2 down, 1 runner on first base is Luke Bernardo. Mac Reichen taking that one on the inside part of the plate. Misses off the inside part of the plate, excuse me. It's a 3-1 count now. The 3-1 pitch from Hager. Reichen thought that one missed. Took a step towards first before the strike was called. Count goes full. That's one of those tough pitches to take. Just clipping the edge of the zone. Payoff pitch. Reichen swung at it, couldn't get a piece of it. That's strike 3, and that will end the inning, but not before 5 runners come across for Yankton post 12. 5 runs scored. I try to tally up the hits here. On only 2 hits, 1 runner left on base for Yankton post 12. We'll go to the top of inning number 4 in just a moment. I'd like to thank a couple of our Sportscaster Club members. We'll start with Northtown Automotive, your local Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC dealer. Visit northtownusa.com. Also, Stockman's Motorsports, your local Polaris dealer with a full lineup of Rangers and Sportsmans ready to get you in the fields, in the woods, or wherever you like to go. Stockman's Motorsports is a proud supporter of all area students and athletes. And lastly, FloorTech. Whether your home or floor is wet, call FloorTech at 665-4839. We'll be back with the top of inning number 5. Isaiah Skelhaas still out on the mound for Yankton post 12. Welcome back here on KYNTV. First pitch to the designated hitter, Garrett Bonnell, from Isaiah Skelhaas gets us started here in inning number 4. It's a 7-6 ball game. 9 total runs came across the plate in inning 3. 4 for York, 5 for Yankton. First pitch was a strike. Second pitch is popped up out of play for a foul ball. That one foul tipped once again by Bonnell. 2 strikes against him. It's a 1-2 count. There was a ball in there somewhere. Skelhaas, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and tipped. That was a defensive swing there. But now so far in this one, reached on an error in the first inning and singled in his last at-bat. That came in the 3rd. He led off the 3rd inning with that single. Now he's leading off the 4th. Similar to how Yankton will be as Rugby Reichen led off the 3rd, he'll lead off the 4th when we get to the bottom half. 2-2 pitch from Skelhaas. This one, contact made by Bunnell. Oswald and Bernardo giving chase. Oswald calls off the right fielder as he gloves it in right center. That'll be the first out of this half inning. Ends up in the glove of Cody Oswald.
Bunnell flies out in center field. Brings the play number 40. Third baseman Trevor Badichka.
Trevor Verditchka. Verditchka so far in this one has reached base twice. Has not recorded an official hit, though. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first and an error in the third. First pitch to Verditchka from Skelhaas. High and inside, ball 1. (1-0). Cuts too far inside. Verditchka will take first base as he's hit by the pitch.
Number 22. First baseman Colin Kachwar.
Brings up Colin Kachwar. Kachwar had an RBI single in the first inning, reached on an error in the last inning. First pitch to him is a ball. Skelhaas going to throw over, trying to get Verditchka at first. Can't get there in time, though, as he's able to scamper back in. Skelhaas comes set, working out of the stretch. He leaves that one a little too far inside. Kachwar ducks out of the way of it. Kachwar makes contact with that one on attempted check swing. He finds his way to Josh Shelton. He throws down to second. They get him at second. Drew Reichen went down hard on the slide as he made contact with Verditchka.
Nice play by Sheldon to get the lead runner. Brings the plate.
They get the lead runner, but Kachwar reaches on the fielder's choice. Drew Reichen able to get back to his feet okay as well. It's a hard slide into second by Verditchka. It took out Reichen. Good to see everybody's okay after. First pitch of the at-bat is a strike. This is Anthony White at the plate. Struck out in his first at-bat, walked in his second, and brought a run home as well as the bases were loaded. The 0-1 pitch, driven back up the middle of the field. That's going to bounce in front of Cody Oswald twice before he gets it picked up. Runners are at first and second now for York.
Line drive single center field by White. Brings the plate. Left fielder number 30, Cameron Logston.
That brings up Cameron Logston. Walked in the second inning, struck out in the last inning. Going to get a pinch runner again for White at first base. First pitch to Logston is in there, strike 1. Skelhaas comes set, 0-1 count. Runners at first and second as he checks the man at second. That one just a bit outside for ball 1. It's a 1-1 count now. A pinch runner who came in for Anthony White was Isaac Stark, same guy who came in earlier on in this contest. 1-1 pitch. Can't find the zone on that one. Makes it a 2-1 count. Skelhaas trying to work out of this 2 runners on situation. Also trying to make it the first inning of the game where York doesn't put a run on the board. Foul tip there by Logston, driven down the first base line into the dugout for Yankton. Looks like everybody's okay down there. Count 1-2. Skelhaus trying to get out of the inning. Be the first clean inning of the game for post 12. Leaves that one low and away for ball. Makes the count 2-2. Good block behind the plate by Jace McCorkle. That block is going to be brought to you by H&R Block, open year-round, providing bookkeeping, payroll, and tax services. Call H&R Block at 665-3366. Skelhaus sets again, checks the runner at second. Now fires home, back up the middle, gets under the glove of Skelhaus, but it's scooped by Mac Reich, and he fires over to Josh Sheldon. Yankton post 12 gets out of the inning as Isaiah Skelhaus is able to work out of the two-runner on situation. First clean inning as well for Yankton's defense. 0 runs on 1 hit, 2 runners left on base, and that's going to do it for the top of the 4th. We'll be back with the Yankton Bats here shortly. Welcome back in here on KYNTV. Rugby Riken at the plate. He's reached base both times so far. Has in the official scorebook, not yet recorded a hit. First pitch to him is a strike. Riken reached base on a throwing mishap in the first inning. A play that almost ended in him being thrown out at first. He ended that sequence on third base due to the wild throw. It was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. He's scored twice in this game. It's a 1-1 count. Make it 2-1 as he takes that one on the inside part of the plate. Hager comes set on the mound. He's still out there. He started the game for York. Driven down the first base line, out of play. Or down the third base line, excuse me, out of play. Makes the count 2-2 after the foul ball. Two-two pitch. Inside again to Rugby. It's a ball 3. Full count now for Hager. Hager into his 4th inning of work here. 7 runs have come across the board for Yankton. 6 for York. It's been a high-scoring affair early on. Riken puts a drive into this one out in the left center field, and that one's going to find the gap. Base hit for Rugby. Leadoff single brings up Lucas Kamshoff.
Brayden, I'm starting to smell the hot dogs.
Don't tempt me with a good time. Kamshoff wastes no time here, putting this one deep to left center field. Looks like he's going to get caught up in the wind, though, coming in from left center. It's going to find its way into the glove of Trey Reichert. First out of the inning on that deep fly to center field by Kamshoff, and it brings up Matthew Shelton. Hager comes set, sneaks a couple glances at first, now comes home to Sheldon. That one low and away, ball 1. I think we have a new record. This is the longest. It's been 2 pitches is what I realized, but there's a full at-bat technically in between. But this might be the longest time Rugby's stayed on first since getting on in the entire Classic. As I say that, he takes off for second. Ball bounces away from the catcher. He's going to stand up at 2. He's going to try to push it to 3. Catcher gets the ball. No throw to third. Rugby Reichen's going to find his way to the third base bag, standing up. It's the equivalent of build it and they will come. Say it and Rugby will steal. Rugby Reichen goes from first to third on a steal plus the wild pitch. It's a 2-0 count here to Matthew Sheldon, but now he's got a runner in the best scoring position possible. And he puts this one on a drive out to right field. That's going to be gloved in right. Reichen charging home on the sac fly attempt, and he's going to get there before the ball bounces to the catcher. Sac fly, RBI for Matthew Sheldon. Again, another play that was created by some heads-up base running out on the base paths. Brings up Drew Reichen.
The only unfortunate news, Braden, is that the bases cannot be loaded for Cody Oswald.
There's still time in this game. Drew Reichen up to the plate. He's walked twice in this one. That one misses the plate for ball 1. Misses the zone, excuse me. It was over the plate but high. One-0 pitch from Hager. That one inside almost clips Reichen.
Good as time as ever to remind people that whether you're listening on KYNT, sometimes they have it on in the stadium or on your way to the ballpark. We do accept hot dog donations in the press box, and I will give you a shout out on there in exchange for a hot dog. The smells are getting to me, Braden.
I can tell. They're getting to me too. I'm not going to lie to you. It takes a strong will to whiff a ballpark hot dog and not immediately just suspend the broadcast. It's a 3-0 count, as that one was a ball as well to Reichen. 3-0, nobody on base. That's going to be ball 4. Drew Reichen, in 3 plate appearances, has not recorded an at-bat in the official score sheet. He's walked all 3 times. Brings up Cody Oswald. Sac flied for an RBI in his first at-bat and then hit a 2 RBI double in his last one. He's going to need one to one of the power alleys, maybe all the way to the fence if he wants to get an RBI in this one. Popped up in foul territory. That's going to land in front of the York bench. I think that even ricocheted into their dugout. Talked about Oswald a little earlier. Bit of a slow start to the Legion season, but that can be expected when a lot of these guys have been playing spring ball. They're up to speed, taking live at-bats in game situations. Oswald's still trying to get ahead of the curve on that one. That one way outside ball. Say there's no better way to get live reps, though, than playing in a weekend classic like this, though. It's an 8-6 ball game. Yankton leads by 2. Rugby Reichen's come across the plate in this half inning. Oswald reaches out. Looked like he was swinging a pool noodle almost, but he's going to get the poke and beat the throw to first. Heads up base running here by Drew Reichen as well as he took the turn at second, and we got runners at the corners for Yankton.
Is my score sheet right? Did Drew Reichen walk 3 times in a row?
Yes.
Wow. I think you mentioned that. Sorry, I was kind of doing a different stat at the time, and it just now hit me.
No, Drew Reichen is 0 for 0 on the game as he stands on third base. That brings up Jace McCorkle, who had a sac fly RBI last inning. I think they're going to call a balk on that one. They're going to send Drew Reichen home on the balk, and it's going to take Cody Oswald to second base. Jace McCorkle now with a runner in scoring position. We had one before, but now it's a different one. Another run comes across for Yankton on that balk. 9-6 ball game now as two have come across the plate in this half inning for Yankton. Both of them with the last name Reichen. Rugby came across earlier, and then Drew just there on the balk. Brings Cody Oswald at second. He's immediately stealing third. Big swing from McCorkle. Ball gets away from the catcher. McCorkle can't find a piece, but Oswald finds third base on the steal. Oh, 1 count here to McCorkle with 2 down. Gets a piece of this one, dribbled out to the third baseman, Vadichka. Tries to beat the throw to first, but he cannot. So to set down Jace McCorkle, and it will end the 4th inning. But not before 2 runs come across for Yankton. 2 runs on 2 hits. 1 runner left on base for Yankton post 12. Before we go to break, thank a couple more of our Sportscaster Club members, starting with Yankton Thrive. Yes, there is a thriving business economy here in the Yankton area. Your one source and resource for all businesses from retail to manufacturing is Yankton Thrive. Go to yanktonsd.com for more information. Also, the UPS store. They'll help you with everything ing, printing, packing, copying, faxing, freighting, any ing your small business needs. Even shredding, notarizing, mailboxing, and of course shipping. The UPS store of Yankton, across from Walmart. And lastly, Graham Tire. If you notice issues with your vehicle, don't hesitate to call the service experts at Graham Tire because they do more than sell tires. Graham Tire of Yankton, your auto service and tire store next door. Isaiah Skelhaus still on the mound as we go to inning number 5. We'll be back here shortly on KYNTV with the 5th inning of action in the Kyle Mueller Classic. Welcome back in here on KYN-TV. Dakota Brown leading off here in inning number 5. Flew out to right field and struck out so far in this game. He's got 0 for 2 on his ledger. First pitch to him was a ball from Isaiah Skelhaus. First pitch missed inside. That pitch misses outside. Overcorrection potentially from Skelhaus. It's 2-0 count. The 2-0 pitch. That one high, bit inside as well, potentially for ball 3. See if Brown's taken all the way here. That one in there for a strike by Skelhaus. Makes it a 3-1 count to Brown. Carter Collada's on deck. Noah Jones in the hole. Noah Jones representing the top of the order. This one popped up. Shallow right field. Second baseman Mac Reichen gets underneath of it. That secures the first out of inning number 5. Yankton still leads 9-6 here. 6 hits, 9 runs, 3 errors on the board for Yankton. 6 hits, 6 runs, and 3 errors on the board for York. Brings up Carter Collada. Grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat, and then had a 2 RBI double in his last one. First pitch from Skelhaus misses the zone for a ball. The 1-0 pitch. That one clips it. Strike 1 gets in there for Skelhaus. It's a 1-1 count. This one driven out to right field by Collada. It looks like it's going to curve foul, though. Just in front of the bullpens here in Yankton. It's a 1-2 count now for Collada at the plate. Top of the order is on deck. That's Noah Jones in the hole. Trey Reichert. 1-2 pitch from Skelhaus, low and away, makes it 2-2.
I do have an update for Yankton Gazelles softball, knotted up at 2 apiece with O'Gorman for the 7th, 8th place game up in Aberdeen. And that is in the bottom of the 5th.
Game Changer is saying that game is delayed as well. If somebody maybe has someone there and wants to give us an update on that, if that is a Game Changer issue or if the action is actually delayed up in Aberdeen, we'd appreciate it. That one bounces in front of the plate for ball 4, so Culata will take his base. That brings up the top of the order Noah Jones, who's reached base in every plate appearance so far, a pair of singles, an RBI, and a walk.
Culata draws a walk, brings the plate leadoff hitter, number 4, Noah Jones.
One down for Noah Jones here at the plate, 1 runner on. Culata just walked. Skelhaus working from the stretch. First pitch finds the zone for strike 1. Oh, 1 coming from Skelhaus. That one finds the zone for strike 2. Both of them, Noah Jones has been looking. I don't think he's liked either of them. Jones taking his time, getting back into the box. Gets his right foot set, now his left. Taps the bag. Swings the bat around as he comes set. Skelhaus ready to pitch on the mound as well. That one low outside. It'll be ball 1. It's a 1-2 count for Skelhaus. Trying to force Jones to take. Doesn't seem interested though. The 1-2 pitch. This one popped up down the first base line and out of play. That might have actually just hit a windshield because that did not sound like the sound effect of glass breaking. And if it did, foul balls are brought to you by Midwest Insurance Agency. You don't want the crack of the bat to end the crack of your windshield and not have adequate insurance. Let Midwest Insurance find the right coverage for your vehicles. Crack of the bat down on the field. Sliding stop at short made by Drew Reichen. He flips it to second to Mack, and they get the lead runner at second. Great play by the Reichens. Drew and Mack linking up on that one. Great sliding stop, good throw, and good stretch. They get the lead runner at second. Noah Jones reaches base for the 4th time today, this one on a fielder's choice. Brings up Trey Reichert. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning, then grounded out and flew out in his previous 2 at-bats. Looks like that is going to be, there's going to be a change on the mound. Good outing for Isaiah Skelhaus out on the mound. Looks like they're going to bring Mac Reichen in on the mound. Pitching changes are brought to you by Conklin Distributing. Time to rehydrate with Prime Hydration, the perfect combination of flavor and function, changing how you refresh, replenish, and refuel. With 5 awesome flavors and no added sugar, you're getting the taste you want without anything you don't. Prime Hydration, the perfect boost for every endeavor. With Mac Reichen moving from second base to the pitcher's mound, Josh Sheldon will scoot over from first to second. Cooper Grotenheis checks into the game to play first base. We'll be back with Mac Reichen's first pitches of live action here in just a little bit. Welcome back in here on KYNTV. Trey Rickert steps onto the plate. Big swing, can't get a piece of it though for strike one. It's an 0-1 count. Matt Reichen, his first pitch of the afternoon, it's not even afternoon yet, his first pitch of the morning is in there for strike one. The 0-1 pitch finds the outside part of the zone for strike two.
Yeah, what are you buying us for lunch?
Funny.
Oh,
I'm lucky if I'm going to buy myself lunch.
I didn't know I was
I just told
joking.
you earlier, rent was due. I just paid rent. It's a 1 meal a day kind of week. Fly ball to center field. Cody Oswald gloves it, and that ends the inning. Mac Reichen comes in with 2 down and secures the final out of the top half of inning number 5. We go to the bottom of the 5th when we come back. Yankton, post 12, leads 9-6 here in the Kyle Mueller Classic. Welcome back in here, KYN-TV, Yankton, post 12, Legion Baseball. It's the opening game of day 2 of the Kyle Mueller Classic. Yankton is 1-1 in this classic so far. York across from them is 0-2. Both these teams fell yesterday to J.C. Brager, who looks to be one of the early contenders in this classic. Vermilion, the other team that's undefeated in the Yankton pool. We'll see Vermilion and Yankton do battle this evening. It'll be the last game of day 2. First pitch to Cooper Grotenheis, who's in the game. Misses on the outside part of the plate for ball 1. Big swing there. For Grotenheis, we can't get a piece of it. One count. It's the first at-bat of the day for Cooper. Tried to get another piece of it there, but couldn't make contact. It's an 1-2 count now. That one off the plate. Good eye from Grotenheis. Makes it a 2-2 count. Grotenheis at the plate has a solid swing. He's put a couple drives into balls early on in the season. They just kicked foul. Timing is so important. You can't replicate. It's hard to replicate live at-bats in a batting practice or batting cage scenario. Another good eye from Grotenheis as that one bounces in front of the plate. Count goes full. Grotenheis just checked in the last half inning. He's playing first base now. Josh Sheldon moved over to second. Mac Reichen moved from second to the mound. That is strike 3 called as it catches the outside part of the plate. Grotenheis has sat down, and that brings up Josh Sheldon. Grotenheis was hitting in place of Luke Bernardo there, so we'll see how the order exactly shakes out with all the moves around. Hager comes set on the mound. Sheldon puts a shot into this one deep into left field. Ranging back for it is a left fielder for York just in front of the warning track. He will glove it. That's unfortunately been the case multiple times this season for Josh Sheldon. Hard hit balls that just barely managed to get tracked in the outfield. Baseball's a fickle game sometimes, and it feels like Josh Sheldon's due for a couple big shots into the alleys. That brings up Mac Reichen. Stepped onto the mound in the last half inning. That one shifts inside, ball one. That one misses the plate as well. It's a ball two. Two-0 pitch from Hager. Bounces inside for ball three. It's a 3-0 count. Expect Reichen to take all the way. Unless there's something he absolutely can't resist in the box, but he's shown a lot of discipline so far this year. And he does lay off for ball four. Mac Reichen will take the walk to first base, and that'll bring up Rugby.
Ready to play, number 12, left fielder, Rugby Reichen.
Two down here in the fifth inning. Rugby Reichen out the plate. Has one hit in this game as he singled in the fourth. He's been on base all three plate appearances, though. Reached on a throwing error in the first and was hit by a pitch in the third. He scored all three times as well. His first pitch is fouled off down the third base line, so it'll be an 0-1 count when he steps back into the box. Hager comes set on the mound, staring down Reichen. Runner goes from first to second. That's Mac. The throw is wild. Reichen slides in head first, pops back to his feet. He's going to third. Rickert in center field. Mac Reichen's not going to stop at third. He's going to go all the way home. Aggressive base running works again for Yankton, as now there's 10 runs on the board. Good call from Drew Lawrence to send Mac Reichen from third. Saw the center fielder Rickert maybe taking a little too much time getting it in.
And that's the base running you and I are always talking about, Braden. Just the aggressiveness and just keeping pitchers and defenders alike on their toes with this Yankton squad.
Yeah, we saw it heavily in Legion Ball last year. I know I wasn't on the broadcast for those. I had just started during the Legion Ball season, and I was your board op for a few of those games. And most of their aggressive base running last year was handled by Joe Goki, who is now at Mount Marty, but obviously still some speedsters on this squad. 1-1 pitch to Reichen. He drives it down the third base line. Even if Mac didn't come home on that steal attempt, he would have got home on that one. Single for Rugby Reichen down the left field line, and that brings up Isaiah Skelhaas batting in place of Lucas Kamshoff. Runner moving from first to second. Reichen, ball gets away from the catcher, so he's going to stand up. Another stolen base for Yankton today. Ball missed the zone as well, so it's a 1-0 count to Skelhaas. Had a good day on the mound. Got into a little bit of trouble in the third inning, but outside of that, very solid day. Very solid effort from Isaiah Skelhaas. That pitch gets away from the catcher as well, so Rugby Reichen's going to take third base, and just like that, it's a 2-0 count, and a runner back on third. Hager gets the call from his catcher. Comes set on the mound with the 2-0 pitch. That one off the plate for ball three. Running the risk of walking Skelhaas here. Matthew Sheldon on deck. Drew Reichen in the hole. One run's already come across the plate in the bottom of this fifth inning. That one's going to be ball four. Skelhaas will take his base. Another thing to keep an eye on is the time. hour 50-minute time limit here in the Kyle Mueller Classic with the first pitch about 9:59, 10 a.m. We are closing in on that time crunch. It's currently 11:41. We're about an hour 40 into this one. We can take a time for a mound visit. Mound visits are brought to you by Hedro, one of Yankton's biggest and best employers. When you're ready for a break and looking for a new direction, visit job.hedro.com. Looks like they're going to take the ball from Hager as he is done for the day on the mound. We're going to get a pitching change as well, brought to you by Conkling Distributing. Time to rehydrate with Prime Hydration, the perfect combination of flavor and function, changing how you refresh, replenish, and refuel. With 5 awesome flavors and no added sugar, you're getting the taste you want without anything you don't. Prime Hydration, the perfect boost for every endeavor. We'll have the ID of the new pitcher when we come back here on KYNTV. Yankton leads York 10-6. Matthew Sheldon at the plate. Carter Culotta steps on the mound here for York. First pitch inside. Runner doesn't go from first or third. Ball gets away from the pitcher on the throw back as well. Two on, 2 out. It's a 1-0 count now to Sheldon. Bounces in front of the plate, gets away from the catcher. Skelhaas slides into second base safely. He's got the free bag. Yankton leads 10-6 here. Be interesting to see if we hit that hour 50 mark before the end of this inning, if they allow York a half inning to try to put runs on the board, or if they just call it straight away. That one low and away for ball 3. Culotta in danger of loading the bases here. Drew Reichen on deck. And Drew knows a thing or two about taking walks in this game. 3 plate appearances, all have ended in a walk for him. That one finds the zone. Sheldon was taken all the way. It's a 3-1 count now for Cullata. Cullata comes set. Runners at second and third for Yankton. That one finds the inside part of the zone. Looks like Sheldon was taken again there all the way. 3-2 count now. It's a full. Payoff pitch from Cullata, trying to get out of the inning. Driven on the ground by Sheldon. One hops to Vadichka at third. He fires across the diamond, and they get Matthew Sheldon at first base. We're under the hour 50 mark, so York will come up to bat. It's 10-6. York needs some runs if they want to get back into this one. Before we go to break here on KYNTV, thank a couple more of our Sportscaster Club members, starting with Explorers Credit Union. Wherever you want your financial journey to take you, Explorers Credit Union is here to help with a vision of financial empowerment for everyone. Discover the difference at explorerscu.com. Also, Kaiser Heating and Cooling. When it comes to heating and cooling, be the wiser and go with Kaiser. That's Kaiser Heating and Cooling of Yankton. And lastly, J&H Cleaning. Carpet, upholstery, area rugs, air ducts, dryer vents, power washing, and janitorial services for businesses. Dirty doesn't stand a chance. If it's dirty, J&H can clean it. Check out jhcleaningsd.com. As I scramble to officially finish out my scorecard here. 2 runners left on base. 1 run comes across and 1 hit in the inning for Yankton. We go to the top of the 6th when we come back on KYNTV.
And welcome back to Riverside Field. Bryce Loud alongside Braden Butler. I'll take it from here, Braden, as I believe this is going to be the last half an inning, as you mentioned. As our batter, Garrett Bennell, gets hit by the pitch and whips his bat about 14 miles into the dugout. Surprised no one got hit with that bat.
I'm glad nobody did either. There was some velo on that one.
I know. Either angry or really excited to take his base. And that brings up Trevor Vadichka. And under it, as a pop out over to first, is Cooper Grotenheis gloving it 1 away. They bring up Colin Couture.
Now the only thing that would extend this game is we're right at the hour 50 mark from first pitch is if they tie this one up. It is in the rules. No new inning will start after an hour and 50 minutes. So that is the time limit rule. So now that we've officially hit it, this should be the last inning. But also, excuse me, they don't want any games ending in a tie either. So if the game ties up, it'd be treated as extra innings ball game.
Remember, if we ever come up with tiebreaker things, you're just going to do the math for us.
I'll try my best.
That's your hey, you spent 1 semester as a math major. You were more qualified. We could go get assistant coach Trey Kerr, literally teaches math.
That's what I wanted to be at one point in my life.
And this one is lifted out toward right, shallow right, giving chase. Over there is Isaiah Skelhaas, and I believe he gloved it. Yes, he did. What a play from Skelhaas out in right field. That's the second out. Couldn't have done much better myself, Braden.
Sorry, I was just paying attention to Josh Sheldon as he was walking the ball back in. I think he turned his ankle a little bit, getting the ball back into play. He's coming up a little limpy. It was a great play out in right field by Skelhaas. Of course, when Skelhaas came off the mound and Mac Reichen came on, Cooper Grotenheis checked into the game, and he came in for Luke Bernardo. As Skelhaas went out to right, Cooper went to first, Josh Sheldon went to second, and Mac came in to pitch. Skelhaas out to right field was the missing link of that change.
And the first pitch of this at bat, and it will be an error assessed to Matthew Sheldon over at third. It's been a rough day for fielding for Yankton. Great day at the plate and a couple of big surges, so I'm not trying to take away from Yankton as a whole, but in both teams, actually, if you look at the scoreboard, Braden, just a rough day in the field in this game in general.
I know they have evenly split a total of 8 errors between York and Yankton. One of them early morning things, guys had to get up pretty early today. Legion season so far, teams are used to playing in the mid-afternoon, maybe late at night, so having to get up and get ready for a 10 a.m. first pitch, it can be a daunting task. This might do it here.
And Logston pops out too short. Drew Reichen gloves it, and that will do it. It is a pop out too short. Your final, Yankton at 10 and York 6. Yankton improves to 4-1 on the season and 2-1 in pool play here in the Kyle Mueller Classic. They will take on Vermilion tonight. We'll talk about that coming up in the Yankton Rexall post-game show here on KYNTV. We'll be back. And welcome to the Yankton Rexall post-game show. And it's time for our post-game coach interview brought to you by Rhonda Westland State Farm Insurance. Let Rhonda review your current home, auto, or life insurance to see if she can help you save some money. Being joined by Coach Drew Lawrence. Coach, congratulations. Big victory. A very good York team. And I guess some topics to just kind of run through. First of all, errors. Both teams. Kind of a rough day in the field for both teams. Skelhouse had a good outing. You wouldn't know just looking at the scoreboard without seeing. He only had one earned run out of this total 6.
Yeah, so Skelly did exactly what we needed him to do. He wasn't quite as controlled. He did have more walks than we're used to, but excuse me, I got a cough. Right, we gave him so many extra outs. We don't do that. We don't usually do that at all. So we found ourselves in a hole because of it. I mean, in the first 2 or 3 innings, we gave them 3 or 4 extra outs. But credit to our boys for coming back and being able to find a way to score some runs and win the game.
And then we had aggressive base running. That has been a staple of this Yankton baseball spring, summer, years now, but just making teams uneasy, especially the pitcher on the mound, making them make mistakes. Rugby is one of the runners that comes to my mind thinking about that. And that's just a philosophy that's really paying off, and in this game it really showed.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep running. It doesn't really matter how good the catcher's arm is. It doesn't matter how quick the pitcher is. The game last night, or yesterday, the first game we played against Sioux Falls, their pitcher was slide stepping, but we kept stealing, and that's what we did this game. Rugby stole second and scored on it today, and Mac did something very similar, I think, too. It's really cool when we're able to do that because you can always bring speed to the baseball field. There's some days you can't throw strikes, or some days you can't hit, there's some days you can't do a bunch of things in baseball, but you can always be fast. So we're fast, and they know exactly what they need to do as far as being taught base running. They're so good at it, and they're so receptive to it. And over the last 2 years, we've really increased the amount of stolen bases that we're attempting, and that our percentage is phenomenal. So we're gonna keep running, whether they throw us out or not. We're gonna keep doing it because that's what we have to do to win games.
Oh, the next two things kind of blend together, so however you want to take it. But obviously a big third inning for Yankton, scoring 5 runs, and some players that were very involved with that. They had a great day. Cody Oswald, 3 RBIs and 2 hits. Rugby got on base and scored 3 runs on 2 hits. And it's sometimes it's unfair to just pick 1 or 2 players, but just talk about their day and just that big inning.
You know, what Rugby does is pretty remarkable. I don't know if I talked about this last broadcast, but our game we played against Sioux Falls, there were 2 things that happened that game that really set us over. It was Cooper's bunt, and then honestly it was Rugby's walk. So Rugby walks a lot in huge situations because he knows our team needs a base runner. He knows he's going to get on first and probably steal second, maybe third. So Rugby's okay with taking a pitch strike early to see if he can find a way on base. So that's leadership, and that's what Rugby Riken does in every sport. It was good to see Cody come out, and you know, he's been swinging well, but he hasn't got a lot of hits quite yet, and so today was good. You know, crosswind there, that ball that he hit was hit pretty hard, and he's hit some balls hard, so it was good to see him get a couple of hits and feel good about it.
I almost had to race Cody Oswald on a bet I made on air, is that when the bases were loaded, I said, if he hits a grand slam here, Braden, I will start at second. And let Cody Oswald race me, and then he hit it out to right, and my heart sank just a little bit.
Yeah, well, and it was the stand-up. It was an easy triple except for the fact that you had 3 runners on base, right? So that's why you only got a double, because by the time everyone saw that it was down, Drew was at first. He wasn't able to. I mean, he might have been able to score, but we didn't have any outs at that spot, so we weren't going to send him. But, you know, if nobody's on base there, that ball was in the air for quite a while and moved a long way in the air with the wind. He might have got an inside the park home run there, even if he didn't get one over. So, yeah, good thing you didn't lose that bet.
I told Braden, let's burn the tapes, and this never happened. But
I think there would have been a lot of video cameras there. I don't know if you can burn them all. So.
But
maybe this is something we can schedule, though. We can do that.
okay, let's bring on that, because we've talked about this kind of one of our side tangents. How fast do you think Cody Oswald could run the bags unimpeded? Throw a number out there.
I don't know. He's fast. I mean, and I don't even know if is he the fastest one out here? Probably. I don't know. He probably is. But that's funny about this team. You got Mac, you got Rugby, all these guys that are fast.
Different kinds of speed.
Yeah, it's fun.
Vermilion preview, Coach. Obviously, another really tough team tonight, and that game could mean a lot for pool play. We'll see how the standings kind of shake out the rest of the day here. But you mentioned maybe Matthew Sheldon on the mound tonight? Matthew
will be on the mound. Matthew's going to pitch, and we're pretty confident with him out there. And I haven't looked too close. I mean, I know the standings. I think that game is going to between us and Vermilion will decide who plays on Sunday, if I'm looking correctly. So it'll be a big game. It'll be fun.
He spent Braden did a semester as a math major, so he's the one that I trust in that. So that's what we're going to go with. Coach, congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Let's go to Drew Lawrence. We'll take a break, come back, and continue here on the Yankton Brexall postgame show. Welcome back to the Yankton Rexall post game show. Yankton victorious 10-6 and are now 2-1 in pool play. And as Coach Drew Lawrence told us, Braden will get into our out of town scoreboard. Brought to you by Upper Midwest Garage Door. It specializes in the sales, installation, and service of residential and commercial garage doors and openers throughout eastern South Dakota. Upper Midwest Garage Doors are local authorized Clopay dealer. When he was talking about that would be tonight's game to determine who plays Sunday, is that just based on how the trend is going? Because it's not official yet.
It's not official yet. We will officially know if that game decides who plays on Sunday if J.C. Brager beats Vermilion later today. Because then both teams would be hypothetically 3-1 going into that would be how both teams would be 2-1, going into that final game. I added a game somewhere, I don't know where. But both teams would be 2-1 going into that final game with losses to J.C. Brager, so they would not be able to complete some sort of tiebreaker over them. So that game would decide which one of those two teams would move on to Sunday. So that's going to be a big game tonight. All Yankton has to think about, though, is if they win, if they defeat Vermilion, they're most likely going on tomorrow. So you just win and you're in. You don't worry about what other teams are doing.
All right, let's get into our stats review brought to you by Colligan. Rent a Colligan water system for $9.95 a month for the first 3 months. To schedule your free in-home water test and consultation, visit ColliganYankton.com. All right, let's start with pitching. Let's just start with the overall box score. I keep saying Yorktown. York started with a run in the top of the first, and Yankton answered with 2 in the bottom of the first. Then York 1 in the top of the second, and Yankton would draw a blank in the second. But then it was the third inning for both teams. York jumped out to a 6-2 lead after a 4-run third. Yankton answered with 5 runs in the third, and they took a 7-6 lead. And then Yankton another 2 in the bottom of the fourth, another 1 in the bottom of the fifth, and didn't need that bottom of the sixth as the time limit had expired on the hour 50 rule here in the Kyle Mueller Classic. With Yankton with the lead, they didn't need that bottom half with a 10-6 win. 7 hits for Yankton, 6 for York. Errors, 9 total, 5 for York and 4 for Yankton. And see that get cleaned up tonight, I would presume. And then as overall pitching, it was Hager starting for York, pitched 4 2/3, 7 hits, 10 runs, 7 earned, 6 walks, 4 strikeouts. Collada came in, pitched a third. And pitching for Yankton, Isaiah Skelhaus, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 1 earned. We're in the back for you again. 4 2/3, 6 hits, 6 runs, 1 earned. So he actually had a really decent outing on the mound. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Mac Recken came in, 1 1/3. And for hitting, RBIs for York, it was Jones with 1, Clotchwar with 1, White with 1, and 2 for Collada. For Yankton, all right, let's go down the lineup here. Mac Recken, 0 for 3, but scored a run, drew a walk. Roby Reichen, 2 for 3, scored 3 runs. Lucas Kamshoff, 1 for 3, scored 2 runs and had an RBI. Isaiah Skelhaus came in for 1 at bat, but 0 for 0 as he drew a walk. Matthew Sheldon, 1 for 2, scored a run, had an RBI, drew a walk. Drew Reichen, 0 for 2, scored 2 runs, drew 3 walks. Cody Oswald, 2 for 2, and had a run and 3 RBIs. Jason McCorkle, 0 for 2, had an RBI, The numbers are starting to blend together, Braden. Luke Bernardo, 1 for 2, had an RBI. Cooper Grotenheis, 0 for 1, and Josh Sheldon, 0 for 3. Cody Oswald, again, just, wow, what a day for him. He had a double, and that was kind of the biggest at-bat of the game for Yankton. And that is your stats review. Time for your defensive player of the game, brought to you by Olson's Pest Technicians, your residential and commercial pest control solutions. Call 1-800-KIL-BUGS. Braden.
We're going to give it to Mac Reichen here for defensive player of the game. Obviously, came in and shut it down on the mound, but before that, factored into a handful of putouts. I see multiple 4-3 putouts before he got put onto the mound, and then also secured a pop-out. So he was working at second base today. Did a very good job covering the bag on some throws down. Didn't get anybody on a throw down on a steal attempt, but still he'd be able to get there. He'd back up his brother Drew from the shortstop position. So great day defensively for Mac Reichen, either out in the field or shutting it down on the pitching mound. So he'll be your defensive player of the game.
Offensive player of the game brought to you by High Views, a helpful smile in every aisle.
Honestly, man, you can't do this to me. There's so many
You
players
have
who
to
just
pick
had
one,
good
and you
days.
have to say that they are above everyone. I'm joking. No, you get to pick a lot of people.
There's two specifically I'm really looking at, but a lot of players had a great day.
Do you want me
Obviously,
to do it for you?
Jason McCorkle brought in an RBI on a sac fly. Luke Bernardo brought in an RBI on a single. Matthew Sheldon had a sac fly RBI as well as a single and a walk. Lucas Kamshoff also had an RBI single for as a designated hitter. But it comes down to Rugby Reichen and Cody Oswald. And Rugby Reichen, you can't understate what he did on the base paths, creating runs for Yankton. Sure, he didn't have the big deep hits. He had a pair of singles, reached on error, and hit by pitch. But every time he was on the base paths, he put fear into the York defense because they knew he was running and they knew it would be difficult to stop him from getting where he wanted to go. And then obviously Cody Oswald, big 2 RBI double in the third, singled in the fourth, had a sac fly for another RBI in the first. Just because I know that the award was given to Rugby Reichen a lot in the spring, we're going to give Cody Oswald the nod here, but both of them had fantastic games offensively.
We could give it to Rugby Oswald.
Can I give a joint player? Is that against the rules?
No, we're going to give it to both of them. There we go. They are high offensive players of the game just because we just want everyone to be happy right now, and we're just in giving mood.
If I'm happy and you're happy and everybody listening is happy, then that's a pretty happy day.
It's a very happy day. All right, well, we did out-of-town scoreboard, and we did post-game coach interview. I think we're kind of wrapped up, Brayden, for the Yankton Rexall post-game show. Vermilion tonight, and more than likely, and I don't want to have to do math on air live, but more than likely that will be to who is going probably for the second, the way things are going, for the second-place team out of the Yankton pool in Championship Sunday. What's up, Brayden?
The only wrench that would be thrown into that is J.C. Brager and Vermilion obviously meet later. If Vermilion beats J.C. Brager and knocks them off their pedestal, we could have a situation where this is a hypothetical situation. Stick with me. J.C. Brager wins their game against, I believe, it's Sioux Falls, who they have to play, post 15. That'll be the game after the one that's about to happen. And then loses to Vermilion. They'd be 3-1. And then Yankton beats Vermilion to the nightcap. Yankton, Vermilion, and J.C. Brager would all be 3-1. We'd have a 3-way tie at the top, and we'd have to go down to our tiebreakers to see who goes on.
I believe whatever you said.
Because every team would also have a head-to-head victory over each other, with Brager getting the victory over Yankton. Yankton, in this hypothetical scenario, beating Vermilion, and Vermilion over Brager. So it'll be interesting to see how tonight shakes out.
How does your mind work? When I had to pack
don't
for a
ask me.
vacation, it's just me. We're talking about my wife packs our kids and stuff. I had to write everything down before I even start packing. How do you do that?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. I struggle to stay focused on 90% of tasks. But if you give me some hypothetical baseball scenarios, by golly, I'll run through them.
Pool play is where Brayden excels. It's pool play. All right.
Call me the baseball swimmer.
All right. For Brayden Butler, I'm Bryce Lodwick. This has been Yankton Baseball. Thanks for tuning in to Legion Baseball on KYNTV. We'll see you tonight, KYNTV, about a 6:30 p.m. pregame. We say about because we never know with these classics. But around that time, we'll talk to you later tonight. Good afternoon from Riverside Field.